Elsewhere, in terms of the romantic comedy department, Amazon is getting into the game with I Want You Back. This one stars Jenny Slate and Charlie Day, and interestingly comes from Jason Orley, who his last film is Big Time Adolescence, so one that we quite liked and talked about a bit on the Intercut podcast. This one,
everyone but Ye liked it.
This one I think has a pretty different tone. It's a little bit more schmaltzy, but like it's very cute. It's very sweet. I think it's not quite as saccharine or treacly as a Marry Me. It's just kind of like there is a little bit of like a subversive edge to it, and it's got a little bit of raunch there in terms of like the kind of sex comedy hijinks that they get up to. I just felt like this was a much more like down to earth romantic comedy that I could buy into, and it's really elevated by the presence of its cast. I think Jenny Slate and Charlie Day are just very gifted performers. There's a review on Letterboxd from Sean Burns who talks about how they've got these squeaky voices that kind of just sort of work in this weird comedic harmony. I liked their interplay. I liked some of the throwaway lines, especially the little gag about whether or not Titanic was based on a play. No, it was based on a ship. It wasn't like the best thing out there, but I smiled through most of it. And if we're talking about like what is probably the best romantic comedy available on streaming tonight, at least from the new ones, this might be my pick.
I also really enjoyed it too. Drop the Peacock, go to Prime. This delivered in every sense that I needed it to. You're right. It's not doing anything different. You know how the movie's going to end.
Yeah.
But that's not the point, right? The point is, like, can they make the journey enjoyable? And I think the two leads definitely do. I think that it's raunchy enough that I think you could only get away with maybe something that's on streaming. There are relationships that are had in this movie and how crazy they get into trying to get each other's couples back. Something that's very similar to Netflix's earlier movie this year with our boy Jimmy Yang, who did I forget what his was called, but his was with Nina Dobrev, where they kind of like he catfished her, and they kind of had to play with it. And they had a cute little moment there on remixing a classic winter song. Here, I thought that they had jokes a minute. I thought the scenarios that they found themselves in, or the way that they were able to play off of each other, was beautiful. There's even some kid actors in this movie that have to play off of Jenny Slate, and they had some of the funniest moments between each other. I thought the movie worked beautifully, and the fact that it's on Prime is like an even better reason for people to catch it, because you can watch it at home, and if for whatever reason you're not into it, I mean, you're at home, you're in your own couch, but I think that you're really going to enjoy this one. And they all look great. Jenny Slate looked fantastic in this movie. Like, I'm a Gina fan. Jenny looked great. Eastwood Jr. looking good too.
It does fall a little bit into that romantic comedy trope of like a bunch of people who don't realize quite how hot Jenny Slate is.
That too. Well, nah, she realizes it, because there's a whole point where they do they're both trying to play like, oh, we're not the leads, we're the sides.
Yeah, we're kind of the fun friend.
Yeah, it's going to take a long time for, what's his name? Our other dude, our main guy.
Charlie Day?
Yeah, for Charlie Day, where it's like, it's not going to take a day for Charlie. It's going to take a year for Charlie, is what they say, to fall in love with him. But she's working it. She's not even being coy about it. They have a whole, like, dress thing that they do, and she comes on, she's like, I look great. I know I do.
Yeah.
I think after all the Captain America stuff she had to deal with, I am a person who thinks that Jenny is funny. I think she's adorable.
Yeah.
And I thought she killed it in this movie. So if you're a fan of either of those two, definitely check it out. And I think that the ending delivers on that heartfelt type of ending that you want. As cliche as it is, you almost kind of want it to be cliche too. Without having that cliche factor, it almost doesn't feel as mushy.
Yeah, it's not a surprise when it goes the direction it does, but I think it doesn't overplay its hand. So I was with this one for most of it.